Which microphone was the good one?
I don't know. We could try this. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Hendrik. I'm from Aparavi. I'm the AI product manager of the Data Toolchain, one of the many great products that we built. I wasn't sure if this was going to be a very good adjacent talk to what we just learned, but I think it turned out very, very well because it fits in very well into the data story. Because after you've trained a very good model, what do you want to do? Well, you want to use it, right? What do you want to use it with? Probably your data or your company's data, and that's what we're going to talk to you about today. I have the pleasure of being joined with my VP of Engineering, Joe, who's going to tell us a little bit about the background and the story of our company, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about what we do with great models and great data.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, loved the first presentation. There's a lot of concepts there, like garbage in, garbage out, data curation. The use case determines the curation of your data set. That's great, right? So before I start, I just want to say that we're trying something a little different today. We're going to try to do less slides and less talking and more demos with live code. So hopefully you like that. Stick around afterwards and let us know what you think. So real quick introduction. So who's Aparavi? I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with what we do, but we've been around solving unstructured data problems for companies for the last 5+ years. Our focus has been on intelligence and automation. It's kind of written on our shirt here, but also data privacy, right? That's been a big one for us. We have over 100 years of experience in our leadership team from all the unstructured data industries, backup, enterprise file sync and share, enterprise content management, file systems, and so on. So let's talk a little bit about why we're here today. Well, the program said, and I'm going to read it here, cleaning up after your data's existential crisis. So we love that. We think there is an existential crisis. We've actually been saying that for several years. User interface, graphical user interface introduced like 40 years ago, right? It kind of ushered in a new era of data management. Prior to that, unstructured data was mainly stored on file servers, right? For those of you guys who have gray hair, you might remember that. But then it went from centralized file servers and it started getting distributed, massive fragmentation, right? Across storage and applications and modalities and file types. So it just became a huge problem. So it's still the same problem, it's just much bigger magnitude. Our belief and what we know is that companies do not have a handle on their unstructured data. What the previous presenter said, what, 98% of the data out there is in private, and a lot of that's corporate, right? So before we were focused on regulatory, cost management, security and getting value out of your data. But now with the rush towards AI, every company out there is rushing to get AI into their company. And what does that consume? It consumes unstructured data. So let's talk a little bit about why you should care about Aparavi. So data quality, the quality of the data or the curated data is the major factor in determining the success of your business application running AI. And we are, as I mentioned earlier, we're the experts in unstructured data. So we have two products. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, the first product, Data Suite. This is a product that we've had for a while. It actually runs inside your ecosystem. So it maintains full data privacy. Its goal is to help you prepare your company unstructured data for AI purposes. So it has the ability to clean your data, classify your data, catalog your data. We create data catalogs, custom policies. It enables you to have data freshness in your AI application. This is huge, actually. Think about it, right? You don't want to just ingest your active corporate data once into your AI application and then never update it. We automate that whole process. So your AI applications are constantly updated with the latest information from your company. And what's new and what we're going to demo for you today is we're releasing a new natural language interface to your data, so you can actually talk to your data. So that's going to be really cool. We'll show you that in a minute. And then the second product is our Data Toolchain. This is our SaaS-based product, and this product is designed to help new wave of AI developers who are under tremendous pressure to produce multiple Gen AI apps in their company, easily build through composition, low code, no code, at 10x speed, and I think 10x speed is probably an understatement, leveraging their company data. So it's MCP native. It brings all of your favorite AI tools together in one place. It supports multimodality. Some of our great use cases that we're seeing real success with is complex document parsing and data extraction. Data anonymization, that we'll actually show that in Hendrik's demo in a little while. And it's very easy to extend. So now we're going to get into our demos. And Hendrik, I just need a little help with your laptop here. So, okay. So here we are with the Aparavi data platform. So let me start by showing you, we've pre-scanned 3 data sources, okay? And one of the things that the data suite does is it actually normalizes all your data across all its different formats and file types. So we've got your Outlook, we've got SharePoint, we've got data shares, and we've got a file system, which have 4 data sources. And you can see some basic information here about your data. Let me just use the mouse here. So you can see classifications. You can actually see data ownership as well down here. You can also review your permissions. Another really big problem we see in the industry, almost every IT department has permission problems with their data, right? There's data turnover. There's one of the biggest use cases is IT departments, what do? They have to migrate data from one storage medium to another, and they have to update their arrays and so on. If they're not careful about maintaining the ownership of that data, it ends up being owned by the IT person. So one of the customers we had ran our product, and they were shocked to see that 3 people had ownership of 50% of their data, right? And they were IT people. And it's like, that's not good. So we have that. We also have another dashboard here that has some more data analysis, right? So shows you some information about your PII count, how many duplicates you have, right? Obsolete data, and we have some charts here as well. So you can see quite a bit of data about, information about your data. I'm going to show you a couple more things. First of all, we have a bunch of pre-defined reports in here. These are common things that companies want to know about their data. So we have a report library, and we're constantly adding to it. So you can run any of these. Then we have the ability to add tags, and I just want to show you here. I'm going to delete this. Sorry, I didn't want to delete that one. I want to delete this SOC one. So let's delete this SOC tag real quick. So you can use tags to make data sets, right? So if you go in here, the network's a little bit slow in here, sorry guys. So let's do a quick filter. Okay, I want to know about all the data I have. Oh man, this is slow. Classification. So we've run classifications on this data. Give me a second here. Okay. And we want to say, find me all the data that has driver's licenses in it. Yeah, anyway, so let's try this. Let's see if it pops up. This is going to make our demos really fun. All right, here we go. Driver's license. Okay, so there's a bunch of policies in here. It's a very rich policy engine, okay? So here we go. We found all the files across, I don't know, 37,000 files or something. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to tag these with our demo tag. Okay, I just want to show you how this works. Okay, so here we go. There's that demo tag. Okay, great. So now I've just created a data set or a data catalog. Okay, so now let's run over and say, okay, well, that's great. We've got this user interface. It's very IT focused. But the average user in your company probably wants to have a different interface. And I think we all know that the future UIs are going to be natural language, right? So here we go. We say, okay, and can you hold this for me while I type? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's talk to our data. So hi, Aparavi. Oh, I did bring my glasses. Hold on. This is going to help. Thank you. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm really Mac. I haven't touched a PC in like a year. Tell me about my data. Okay. So what we've got here is we've used our new MCP server attached to our data suite, and we've plugged in Claude to basically talk to our data. So what it does is it's running some of those predefined reports that we have, and it's going to tell me what I have. So here you go. Here's our overview. And this is pretty cool. So think about it. Imagine if you could just talk to your data. And obviously if you wanted to hook this up to voice to text, text back to voice, you could actually talk to your data. This might get really dull though with all these charts and things, but there we go, there it goes. Okay, so you can see here that it tells me that I have, 624,000 files, 3 main data sources, so it kind of tells me what I just showed you a minute ago, right? But okay, let's say, I'm at a company, and I have 100 employees, and I guess I have 41.9 gigabytes of data, and I have to prepare for a SOC2 audit, right? So I have a SOC2 audit coming up. What do I need to do to prepare? Okay, so let's see if it actually understood my question. So what it's going to do now, it's going to run some additional reports, and it's basically going to prepare me an actual report that tells me exactly my areas of concern that are related to SOC2 controls. So if anybody's gone through a SOC2 process before, that spans HR, finance, engineering, ops, every department in your company. So here's that report, and you can see. So it's pretty cool. And again, I don't have to click a bunch of buttons. I don't have to know where everything is, and I don't have to write any SQL. We have a version of SQL called AQL, Aparavi Query Language, and you don't have to learn that either. So that's kind of, it's going to run for a while, so I'm going to hand this over to Hendrik. Before I do that, though, I just want to make a couple of notes. First of all, Roger, hi. Yeah, hey man, we should talk afterwards. We can definitely help law firms to speed up their research running this tool in your own ecosystem, in your own IT center. You can basically speed up your research, right? A lot. Okay, so we should definitely talk.
And I'll put you in touch with our CIO.
Absolutely. And yeah, I'll stick around afterwards, and please come and talk to me. And if you haven't talked to one of the Aparavi team members here, we've got these poker chips, and it has a QR code on it, but it's a real poker chip. So come by and talk to us and get a poker chip. So thanks.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Oh, glasses. Thanks. You want me to hold the mic for you? No, I'll stay here. It's all good.
All right, so yeah, there's obviously a lot of exciting stuff going on in preparing your data for AI, right? Most of these things were mostly left with the IT administrators, as we know. But we found that most people weren't necessarily getting excited about cleaning up their data first before starting with AI. That was kind of like a hard pitch to sell. So we started developing a new product, which we called the Aparavi Data Toolchain, purely out of the need that many people, I see a lot of folks that I talk to in the audience here who are working in startups, building AI startups, building AI solutions. And many of them, they need tools to kind of bridge the gap between where they are right now and where they want to be, with including amazing AI large language models, amazing solutions like might it be chunking frameworks, might it be entity recognition models. And we knew a lot about their data, and we knew a lot about what it takes to make a quality AI applications based off that data from the projects that we did in the past years. So we decided to build this tool, what we call here the Aparavi Toolchain, which is part of my baby. I have to say I started this initiative, which is basically a tool that makes it very easy for you, firstly, to understand where your data comes from, what are you doing with it step by step, and then to see the outcome of it as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough. We basically start with an enterprise data source. Could be your Microsoft SharePoint, could be your Google source, or an Aparavi data catalog. If you don't really have an idea where your data is located at this point in time, you can use our tools to run that up. And then you can run a variety of different parsing models. We support major of the part of the Silicon Valley startups that are at the forefront of data parsing. Some of you might have heard about LlamaParse. Maybe you heard about Reducto. We also have our custom-owned parser. Depending on that, all of that is highly focused on unstructured data. So all the lanes that you see here are audio, image, table, text, and video, because that's what we specialize in, taking care of unstructured data and getting the most out of it. I actually can show you this here as well. I got a drag and drop node running here live. This is just a little demo node that we use to showcase how things work. So for example, here I can feed in a software design document that I used at a hackathon a couple weekends ago. It's got some graphs in there. It's about building like this this holiday application, and I can feed that in here. When I do that, I think it's right there. It's all good. Then you can see that this basically runs through that small little pipeline here that we see on the side here, and just performs the same output it would normally perform when we would chunk it in a preprocessor, embed it, and then put it into a beautiful Milvus vector database, or maybe a Pinecone vector database, of which we're going to learn about a little bit more in a couple minutes. And then the way it comes out, when we got it, is, I got maybe an internet problem. Fortunately, I did that before here as well. I basically extracts many of the graphs and the entities as Node.js diagrams. It extracts the tables. It understands the relationships between those text documents, and that's what we see a lot of our customers struggling with, because large language models are generally not very good at understanding some of the relationships that you have in documents. So you got to make sure that once you feed every single part of the puzzle of feeding a Gen AI application, needs to be LLM friendly, as we say. And we make it our job to give the best tools in that entire canvas to feed you step by step through the entire pipeline until the end result. Another part that Joe has mentioned here as well is the idea about processing sensitive information, right? So the other part is now when you start to process things at scale, when you're talking about processing terabytes of data, which is normally the point where we come in with our application, then you don't really have fine-grained control anymore about the data that you feed, and that includes sensitive information. So that's why we built these type of pipelines here that deal with data and use classifications to understand them. So let's say you have, for example, a document like this one here, where you talk about maybe some social security numbers, some credit card numbers, some names, as well as medical records. I just generated this document on the highway coming here. You use that, you want to understand what kind of information do you have in it. So before you feed it into a vector database, before you feed it into a graph database, you kind of want to make sure that if you have social security numbers, if you have any kind of named entities, you got to understand those, and you got to anonymize them. And that's another part that we become very good in, because we can build over 5,000 different custom and predefined classifications that you can use, anything from finance to fraud to health data. We can detect these entities in your documents, and then we can use open source models as well as closed source models to anonymize them, identify them and anonymize them before you actually ingest them into your application. And that became actually such a big use case that we also put that as one of our standard pipelines into our SDK. So in the same sense that you can process these documents here, you can also do the same just by calling a couple API calls. Actually, let me see where I got this one here. Yeah, perfect. So this is kind of a small little demo script that I'm running here. I told you guys more code, less vibes. There we go. So yeah, I'm processing the same pipeline, and just with 3 cells of running this. There we go, I already ran. Another cell of initiating our client, and a last cell of processing the document. It will run through this pipeline that we just saw here on the edge, and then once it's processed in a couple seconds, it will come out basically looking like this as a blanked out space. So you can see that compared to the version that we looked in here, we can see that it identifies basically the name entities, the age, the social security numbers, so that way you can be sure that you're not worried about the next customer leak. All right. One last little thing I wanted to show you, just because me and Jeffrey, we've been talking so much about his application that he's building for the fitness industry. There's a small thing that I vibe coded on the on the way here, thinking about what you're building at the moment. So Aparavi, as we told you, is a multimodal platform, right? So that means we do not only process text and images, but we also process video. So, and that means we can also process, for example, YouTube tutorials. And I had a look at one of, I guess what you're doing, fitness apps, and I built this little tutorial here that basically uses, here we go, uses this tutorial to build a $200 million fitness app. And yeah, this guy talks a little bit about the many important things that you got to take care of, about some design paradigms, and as well about how that application should look like once you have it. And what I can do now is I can run the Aparavi MCP server. Let me actually, pull that up here. So Control L. Let's make a new node. Can you hold that? Thank you very much. And I can say, hey, please use the Aparavi video tool to process this video, let's say images and audio, and give me a general vibe description. All right, here we go, and then I gotta find it as well. It should be somewhere here. Yes, that's right. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's see. It's calling the MCP tool. It's got the path of it. That's nice. All right, and there we go. Then we can see it processing as well. All right, here we go. It started the pipeline. Okay. So basically, the way what's running in the back now is this pipeline here. As you can see. Oh, nope, not that one. This one here. It basically looks at the video file that I drop in, and then it looks at the video, it dissects the video, and then it runs a simple transcript. It generates a frame and a 5-second interval, and then it runs that through a Mistral vision model that we configured, and then it basically, I put a couple prompts in there. Those are not the same prompts as here, as I'm using the MCP server, and then it generates a description for every single image, and depending on how good your internet connection is, that spits out a description, all of that for Claude, Claude Code. In this case, I'm using that one, and then once you're ready, you can click npm start, and oops, there we go. This is what it looks like. This is the web page you created for the app, and you can click on demo, and here it starts. Looks a little bit like I can do a push-up, a couple workouts. Start here, get a video going. Okay, that's not quite there yet, but yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you very much. That was a little glimpse.